This is where Renegade Witches Blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done. I'm back again, but of course, you know, you could go to the Word Renegade website. People have been hitting me up just to talk about some of the subjects that's been currently going on in the universal soul. But as you already know, Wayward is about that revenge, redemption, responsibility, and that spell work. But you already know art is occultism. Occultism is a motherfucking art. In addition to, as you already know, lessons have already started. Of course, the monthly lessons, that is separate from the weekly and everyday lessons that I do with individuals. And understand that work is separate, but at times with the people that I work with, we do work and lessons, but understand again that's separate from the monthly lessons. However, as you already know, that I do see y'all messages and so on, and I will hit you back. It's just that I'll be having other stuff, but I'm not ignoring your frequencies. Just to loop back and go ass backwards to the video that I did before this, when I was talking about Miss Alexis Tyler, some spiritual constituents had to correct me and said, look, I remember when I told you the date, the year, it was in the summer, it was July, and it was of 2020. So correcting the energies of whatever she was talking about, they corrected me and said, I remember that, I wrote that shit down. And he went into his energies and said, boom, 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 boom. This is when it was. I said, oh. Anyway, I've been looking at the universal soul and a lot of the frequencies that's been going on. And we've been talking a lot. There's been a lot of energies of what we call orishas, right? So let's talk about orishas. And I'm not going to talk about it in the way of the Latinos, the Ifas, the Hindus, and everybody else. This is a different frequency. The whole world is under the energies of Elegua. Okay, Elegua. I don't give a fuck what they talk about to the left, to the right, because that's none of my concern, because I told you I don't practice what other people practice. But let's have a little bit of a frequency, okay? So anyway, the whole world, we under this Elegua era, and you have Elegua fighting with Pan, fighting with Hinduism, fighting with all of that. And if you really kind of look at your homeless, they're under the energies of Elegua. They live by the water, they live by your railroad tracks, if you want to be, you know, a little layman, a little novelty, right? But it's very interesting how they have switched it, and you don't understand the energies of Elegua also leads into vampirism, because you're getting this whole energy of vampirism and all of this propaganda behind vampirism, but nobody ever talks about the Elegua and the Ishu energy that's under the vampire energy, because some people believe is under like some kind of satanic type of energy, okay? So we're going to stop playing games with that, because we're just talking about the aura of it, right? So when we talk about this energy that we're under, just like under the energies, of course, Elegua, you have your homelessness, you have your drugs, you have your mental illness. That's why I say, if you're going to be in them streets, you make sure you give back to them streets, because you're giving back to Elegua. It's almost as if you notice when people, when they're on their drugs, they're eating sweets, they're eating sugars, they're eating donuts, they're eating candies, they're eating things. Who in the fuck do you think they're feeding? Okay, if we're talking novelty, if we're talking the frequencies, right? And I'm like, dang, there's a battle going on. And some of you believe in layman term that the energies of Orishas came from, of course, Yorubas and from West Africa. But in reality, it came from the Igbos, and in the Igbo culture, it was all, the Orishas were all women. Okay, the ass kicker of it all is y'all forget that all of West Africa was attached to the United States, and technically the Igbos were considered the original native people of America. Okay, we're not going to play games with that. And you understand the Yorubas are the ghetto people. We're gonna keep it right, because I gotta explain the way I explain it. And there's an energy going on right there. The whole damn Africa is afraid of them damn Yorubas. They said they just cut up. They have them doing all type of shit. And don't get it fucked up. Shit, I'm talking the way I'm talking, and you know I'm talking right, Yorubas. They have them selling the drugs. They have them planting the drugs. They have them pushing propaganda shit. Look at the fucking Nollywood. What the fuck is going on with that? So we have to understand, what the hell are the Yorubas? But the energy did not come from them. There's a lot of misunderstandings. Some of you people who do practice the Ifa and the Lukmai and all that other shit, of course, I'm saying something against what you believe, because all you guys are under one umbrella, and that's okay. But you're not understanding that you're practicing it the wrong way anyway. That's why you're practicing it under the energies of Hinduism, because we understand now the current state of Orishas and practicing those entities and deities. You guys are also pulling in Hinduism, okay? But we're not going to even talk about that, because we're not going to talk about how they stole the real Hinduism, not this bullshit that they have out in the universal soul, talking about the yoga and the vegan and the dot energy and all that shit. Somebody in my comments was breaking down the Hinduism and the practices, and how the universal soul is trying to intertwine that culture. No, they're intertwining a false culture. Okay, so we have to be careful what it is, because and who the original people were and what they are. And people want to go back and forth, but you have especially these hybrid Indians and natives, as they call themselves, want to say Afro-Americans were never here in America. You're absolutely right, because it's Afro-American, but you're not going to say nothing about the nationalists. But what do you do when the original people were here and they sat up and colonized, and then actually put you guys here and created this hybrid entities that call themselves now Mexicans, that call themselves now Native Americans, that call themselves now indigenous people? Okay, it's like as if you guys don't want to hear the truth, because the bottom line is this: if we were to do a DNA test, or whatever they call that, was it a geology test, or whatever they want to call it, and really break down who you are, you would be a mutt. You wouldn't know who in the fuck you are. It would look the same as the energies that they're trying to throw at black people. That's why Jewish people don't do DNA tests and ethnic tests and all that stuff, because they don't want to know that they're mutts and they're not the original of anything, as well as you're not. Okay? Bottom line, your DNA will look just like us. If your DNA have fucking Igbo in it and all that stuff, just know that you are a nationalist, and they went and colonized and kicked you out of the parts of America. Then we forget the map, the way it used to look, the United States and all that, and everything was attached together. Things got flooded, things got broken apart. There's hidden parts of the world that we don't fucking know about. They only let us know what they want us to know. Okay, so we better stop playing with this universal soul, because just like you guys are being freaking bamboozled and tricked, Elegua, we're going to play games with you for a moment, tricking the fuck out of you with Biden, with this Kamala Harris. We didn't even think about that cyber shutdown with the airplanes. Do you know there's people talking, saying there's something weird going on, that Biden is missing? There's people here, whatever is going on, and Kamala Harris and Biden are not even showing up to the events and shit like that. We don't know what the fuck we're looking at. And myself and the spiritual constituents, and we were talking about that cyber shutdown, especially with the airports, and you have your traffic control and so on. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Was there some kind of plane crash? Because remember, I said it shut down a lot of people, bank accounts, financial, but the main thing, it was the energies of air. And I said the maritime laws of air. So you have different reporters. You have people wondering what the fuck is going on. Why is Biden missing? what's happening, right? And I'm like, well, off the bat, I know, I'm like, that's not Biden. That's some actor dude. We don't know who that is. They may be some kind of Indian or whosoever, allegedly. But I'm more interested with this frequency of where is Waldo? And how is that connected to the cyber shutdown? And how is that connected to air of how they shut it down? What the fuck? What the fuck? What? That's why I said, what the hell you ushering in with air, right? What are you hiding? So I really started to think about, like, what the fuck is really going on, right? Let's look at some energies. Okay, so we have this energy with Kamala Harris. And I was just kind of analyzing some stuff, right? So I was looking at the Kamala Harris with Montel Williams, which was back in 2001, allegedly. Then this current Kamala Harris. Do you guys understand? Allegedly, Kamala Harris is only 59 years old, and she looks older. She looks like she's almost in her 70s, which is very interesting. I said, huh. The interesting thing is that the Kamala Harris of 2001, and you look at the years before that, she looked like a black woman. And her lips were fuller, plumper, nose structure differently. Myself and the spiritual constituents, we were going back and forth on her teeth. I said she had nice teeth here. Her teeth don't look good here. And she was telling me about the veneers. I said, no. I said, look at the top, but look at the bottom. She's always had nice teeth, top and bottom. This is, who's this? Is this an Indian woman? And who's the other woman? See, y'all think I'm crazy. That's okay. But I'm going to make you think with my craziness, right? As you guys say. Look at the previous one with Montel Williams. Then I found it very interesting because Montel Williams is a Cancer, and he was with a Libra with a touch of Virgo and Scorpio mixed up in there, right? And I said, so they had two of the gatekeepers together. And then I didn't realize that in the earlier times, the earlier years of San Francisco, I didn't even know who this woman is. You know, you have to remember, apparently back in 1998, she was an assistant DA, and then I guess she became DA around 2004. I said, this is the same spell work. This is the same role they give her. They start her off as an assistant, then she becomes, right? So I'm like, okay, so who are these two individuals? Then I have a question for the Bay Area. I'm like, you from the Bay Area? I'm from the Bay Area. Allegedly, they said she was from Berkeley. Then they say she's from Oakland. And I know how Oakland people get down. They'll tell your business. I'm telling you, I've been places where people come from Oakland. They used to talk about Sheila E. like a motherfucker. So I said, but how come in the city of Oakland, nobody knows who this woman is? Where are her friends? What schools did she go to? Who were them teachers? Again, she's only 59 years old. She's considered a boomer. She's just a step away of being Generation X. I'm asking petty questions, y'all. I'm just being petty. So that means for sure London Breed and all them niggas, of course, in the city of Canada. So that you know they all were hanging together, and we don't have to talk to maintenance and who else who know all they business and more, right? So anyway, I'm like, dang, she was sleeping around, and because I don't want to get personal. It's not really about her personal business, but the thing about it is like, who is this woman? Then you got Berkeley. Then they gave us these pictures of her family. Okay, they said this is her mother, but it's like something is off about this, because if they lived in Berkeley, Berkeley has this energy of all these Indians that are there. Get it, got it. I understand what that is, and I understand that culture. But then it made me think about, dang, is she connected to Alice Coltrane cult? Because, with Doja Cat and some other people was in Alice Coltrane cult. And Alice Coltrane cult was connected to Hinduism. Even it's funny, at first I was tripping when I would listen to her music, and then I started to hear some of the frequencies in it. So I'm wondering, especially in that energies, are they merging together this melanated energy with this Hinduism stuff? But of course it twists and it turns, it twists and it turns. I then went to the left. So I'm like, is Kamala Harris connected to this? Did she come from that cult? Who is this Indian woman? How come nobody knows who her mother is? Her father is supposed to be Jamaican. Then I thought about it. Wait a minute. In Jamaica, they have Chinese and Indians. There's a mixture, right? Like I said, somebody was telling me they call them like coolies and whatever that energy is. One of my spiritual constituents, her stepfather is a Jamaican Indian, okay? And I'm looking at him like, whoa, and he's one of the darker ones. And a lot of them, and I'm just going to keep it right, they're very perverted energies. If you want to talk about butt breaking shit, was it them doing the butt breaking? Because some of the shit he was, his get down, not telling her business, but his get down, them Jamaican Hindus, we want to call them Jamaican Indians, are some grimy ass motherfuckers. And everybody that I know who has a connection with them is always some kind of griminess going on with that frequency. But I done went to the left and right. Let me get back. So I'm wondering what is going on with that. That's not complete. Her alleged Jamaican father spoke out about her and the energies. I'm like, how come nobody in the Bay Area know anything about this woman? The only thing we know is when she became the DA and she started pushing certain laws and certain energies. Hell, I got caught up in her shit with the truancy. I got caught up because I took my kids out of school and to homeschool them, and and you have to go through a process. It's like legal and whatever, and through the school district. So I did the proper paperwork, whatever I had to do, and that was it. The next thing I know, I have a truant officer hitting me up talking about, why isn't my son in school? I said, what are you talking about? I said, my son is being homeschooled and da 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 da. And she said, and she, thank goodness she was a black woman. She asked me questions and she said, hey, I need you to forward over the documentation because the school reported that he was truant. I said, what are you talking about? And so I called the school. She said, look, and this is what she explained to me. I need you to send that over because we'll come over and we'll have to get you and arrest you. I said, what? And she said, just send it over. And so when I called the school was like, oh yeah, we did do that. We like your son. We want him to come back to school. I said, what? They don't talk about that part, huh? They don't talk about that part. Because I told her, I said, but I took him out. I sent you the documentation. I did everything I was supposed to do. I said, why would you report him truant? Because we don't want him to leave our school. I said, oh, hell nah. See, that's what I'm talking about. So what I'm trying to say is her politics are not politicking. What I'm saying is her background doesn't make sense. What I'm saying is that who is this woman in 2001 and who is this woman currently? They're not that far off in age, okay? That's all I'm asking. The other part of it is that dear fucking white people and Asians, stop walking up to me asking me how do I feel about Kamala Harris, because I'm going to tell you what I told, especially this Korean woman just a couple of days ago. I ain't voting for the bitch. And her politics are not cool. Her governing is not cool. And her face fucking cracked. Okay? And she stood there. She was like, well, and she was like, well, yeah, no, hell no, fuck no, hell no, fuck no. I said, I know personal things about her that pushes me away from voting. And I had to explain to her, the Korean lady, that also I used to work for the city and county, so I know inside information, and I don't fuck around with people like that. And I don't fuck around with people who have a mentality like that. Period. Now you niggas can sit around and fuck around with Kamala Harris, but I'm just a little curious. How come nobody from the Bay Area is? And I'm wondering, are they sealing it? Are they squashing it? What's happening? Because it's not working. Her politics are not it. And what's very interesting is once she was elected and was in the White House, why she seems stupid. She's not a dumb woman. I will give her that. She's not a dumb woman. So, but that's why I said the Kamala of the earlier years and this one, and she only 59, these are not the same people, allegedly. I don't know what Dabalik or Clone or Mask or Hollywood Free, because this is a whole Hollywood energy, right? So when I really started to like look and see what the fuck is really going on, I'm like, hold on. The AKAs and Deltas are coming together and trying to enforce this energy to vote for Kamala Harris? The real AKAs don't like that bitch. Oh, I'm telling business. But because I'm not going. I'm not an AKA, but I don't want to reveal what they asses really think about her ass. But I'll shut the fuck up, because I know some of you AKAs be very interesting. And the Deltas, I am really disappointed, because you know I'm an honorary in my head. Delta, considering my church were Deltas. I was in the Christian charm class. Yes, manners. Christian charm class, of course, under Prince Hall, under all that shit. And you know the city and county of San Francisco, a lot of them black women were Deltas. Okay? So I'm like, okay, so now they're getting the sorority involved in this? What kind of millennial / Gen Z bullshit? What are they paying these people? That's propaganda. Because there's truth to some energies. More and more, I'm trying to understand, what is this Howard energy? Can somebody explain that? I believe you vote for Kamala Harris, you're voting for an Indian woman. That's what she is. She don't know if she's black. She doesn't know if she's Indian. When you listen to her and her politics, she does not include black people. She doesn't even include white folks. She's telling you straight up and straight out, she's for the immigrants and third world energies. That's what it is. She's not for the nationalists. She's not for the American people. She's for what's ever flowing. When I'm finding it very interesting, I said, what is her connection of her being a prosecutor and attorney, in addition to this J.D. Vance and his wife, who's an Indian, who's also an attorney? What is that connection to that whole affirmative action where they use the Asians and the alt-rights to basically get rid of the affirmative action across the board, but they use Harvard and saying that black people are not, and they specifically targeted black people and saying that we're not equipped to be in the law department. See, here's the thing that's very interesting, and we better follow and we better understand what's going on, but it might be too late for some of you people. See, they're out here creating and molding a world for themselves. See, we were over here kind of thrown off by the Asian people, but we really better watch these Indians, because the Indians, a lot of them are in the medical world in addition to law. So are these racist ass Indians coming into America as they are, because there's families and a whole bunch of families of immigrants currently applying and somewhat as families, and a lot of Indians in America, okay, currently. So they are creating a world for themselves. They're creating education for themselves. See, here's the ass kicker. We've always been around Asians and Chinese and Koreans and all of them. And the bottom line is that, yes, they do have a jealousy. They do have a frequency. But I'm finding something very interesting, as we have two Indians in law. And that's a very dangerous frequency, which goes back into them trying to change certain laws and federal laws and so on. And creating this certain atmosphere. So as Black people, we should have really spoke up, but of course we have new type of Black folks that don't speak up. That is something very suspicious going on, and is really dealing with a culture of people. And I'm wondering, how come Black people haven't sued the federal government for discrimination, and let alone, why haven't they sued a culture of people who's coming in and purposely and intentionally putting in and using their money to basically oust us? And why are we not suing the Indians, yes, and the Asians too, for being part of this bullshit? We understand what the white people are. We understand the Jewish people behind it. But federally, there's a whole bunch of discrimination going on, and they're ousting us to basically to open the road for themselves. It's like an open road candle. They're using it, and they're using their money to push us to the side, but then create a new symbolism of who we are. So how come we didn't reevaluate the affirmative action? I'm going to talk about that again, because again, that could have been restructured, because the affirmative action always supplemented the Indians, especially the darker Indians who sat up and pretended to be Black, or supposed to be melanated people, because the darker Indians especially are basically turning racism around, and they're saying Black people are racist towards them. But that's because Kamala Harris and the rest of them, and we're not going to say Kamala Harris, but the entities behind the entities created that Asian bill, that Asian law, that Asian hate shit. But how come as Black people, instead of you supporting AKAs and Deltas, supporting Kamala Harris, well, how come you didn't look at your educational source? Kamala Harris haven't stepped up and really donated and seen what the fuck was going on with Howard. She don't give a fuck about any of that shit. We don't even know if that's fucking her. Okay? So, and to be honest with you, I feel that shit with the AKs and Deltas supporting her, I think that's propaganda. And then don't you guys notice that the fraternities ain't got shit to say? And it's probably for a fucking reason, because that's some of the personal shit. I'm not going to get into it, what's going on with her. It's none of my business, but it's out there. However, how come we never thought about that? They don't want us to know. I told you about science. They don't want us to know about law. Those are two important things. So they put their money in to oust you out, and then give you difficulty when you go to college to be a fucking engineer and anything else, and look at you sideways. America fucked us up by investing in that whole country, and then bringing them here, and then they get their loans, and then they keep manifesting. It's not about, well, Black people ain't did this and Black people and they did that. It's just there's so much money invested for Black people to be sacrificed. See, we're only here to be on this earth to be sacrificed. We're not here to be equal. That's why we have all of this fucking history going on with us, and things keep uprooting of how in our place in America and around and abroad, and they went and squashed and killed that energy, and then sit up and use certain spell work, and you not even noticing that they keep trying to kill religion. We're gonna get to that in a minute. I mean, goddamn. I mean, when I really look at this, I'm like, how come nobody ever questioned on why Willie Brown got, you know, terminated? I think, but from the Chronicle, as soon as she was elected, he was terminated. That's abuse of power. But I'm just asking questions. I'm like, what's happening, right? Then the thing is, her name is Kamala, and as black people, we don't trip. Kamala, that's an Indian name. Last name, was it Harris? Kamala Harris. That's, how come we didn't peep Kamala? But, you know, we're black. But then I started to research. Do you know a lot of them African names that you thought you was naming your kids are basically Hindu names? Even the name, we got to reevaluate Muhammad and Jamal and Khalil. We don't know what the fuck is going on. And some of you guys will argue, no, amen. No, you don't know shit. You the same people don't know the difference between Igbo and Yoruba and Orishas and how they were and the origins. So I'm not going to listen to what the fuck you talking about, because all you guys do is read books and listen to all this other bullshit. But I'm just asking questions. Right? What the fuck is going on with Obama? He not trying to endorse that ass, this person that they call Obama. But somebody was hitting me up as spiritual constituents. They said they don't even think Obama is mixed with anybody white. They say he kind of look Indian his fucking self. Right? But we're not asking questions. Obama said it should be an open process. He is right. How do you just put her in place? I said, I know heck of people who want to run for the Democratic. What? And what is this one-term energy? What is this ageism? So they're changing laws right in front of us and using extreme measures to do it. Damn. We don't have questions about the one term, how they keep doing the one term shit. We don't have questions about them aging people out. Because when we go back to when I was saying that they're missing, I said metaphysics, religion, cyber hoax, spells. Meta in the biblical form means death, but then metaphysics of the mind and all this stuff, but really transitioning, they tricked us with meditation, meaning when you're meditating, you're almost at a death energy because you believe you're in dimensions. But when you go back to the meta and understand the code underneath it, the code of death, because this is under the religion of metaphysics, because it's dealing with air, and death equals air. So they're using metaphysics on us because they're using the energies of air. Very interesting. Which taps back into Hollywood, because people believe Hollywood is dead. No, Hollywood is being restructured, and they're cleaning house for what they're bringing in for the new Hollywood. See, the illusion, y'all believe Hollywood's dead, finally it goes down. No, they needed to kill it. They need to put it under its meta, the metaphysics of it. They had to get all those old energies out to bring in new energies. Right? Okay. That's why I said under the code meta. This energy, metaphysics meta, Facebook meta, is connected to the election, is connected to everything metaphysics. But we have to understand the energies of meta first before we understand the physics. And we have to understand the frequencies. And even under what it means under Hinduism. Because they have Hindi language under Google daggers. Right? They done sat up and trapped old Hollywood in poltergeists. It's above y'all pay grade. Black people have been compromised. When I seen the Hebrew Israelites in Africa and the Hebrew Israelites debating with a church black woman, and they sat up, I don't care what they talk about, but when I heard them say that Mexicans and Indians or Native Americans are fucking Israelites, I said, get the fuck out of here. We should have known there was being something was being compromised when the Nation of Islam went under Scientology. I said, get the fuck out of... Who's paying the Hebrew Israelites for that fucking misinformation? I have no respect for that. I don't fuck with that. Don't sit around preaching one thing, then they done sat up and paid you goddamn niggas to tell them fucking story tales. The fuck you talking about? Compromised. Now they didn't incorporate the Latin culture in. No, you're not. You know they not. You can't tell a Hebrew Israelite shit. But now, this is what they do. It's like they're compromising each entity, each energy that's fucking with black people. You got the ballroom scene that's probably getting paid by something else to interfere with black women. They have them pushed in the fashion industry. They got Kim Burrell apologizing with her facelift ass. I'm like, why are black women apologizing? Oh, because it goes back to, let me look here. Let me look here. Oh, it goes back to this energy. Because I have it here. Oh, here it is. It goes back to this Sonya Massey. See, remember I told you years back with Harley Quinn, how they beat up the black man in the Harley Quinn movie? And I told you guys back then how it's going to be the downfall of the black man. Well, they need to finish it off because they understand that the black woman is the spirit. So before the election and to sacrifice, they made sure to give you an energy of Sonya, was it Sonya Massey? See, this is on the same lines as George Floyd. Because remember, before the election, they sacrificed, they gave you this whole Hollywood frequency with George Floyd. See, I have some questions with this Sonya Massey, because I'm not going to sit up here and play games with these people, because it is very clear that they need to finish off the black woman, because the black woman is spirit. As soon as I heard, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and that motherfucker said that shit to her, I said, oh, they're killing off the black woman because they know the black woman is spirit, and they want to kill this, and they want to kill the spirit. They want to kill the word. They don't want that anymore because they know the black woman is power. The black woman is the entity. They know she's the Holy Spirit, and they know she has the Holy Ghost in her. They know everything is the black woman. That's why they keep tainting her. That's why they impregnate her with foreign energies. Period. That's why Africa is going to be the marketplace, because they're over there impregnating, I told you, them young girls and more with foreign energies. They've always done that to us. That's why we look the way we look, right? That's why I look the way I look, right? So the bottom line, point blank, they out here playing games with us. We got to start looking at some intricate shit. When I seen that damn crumb attorney pop out again. I said, here he comes. Benjamin, what's it? Benjamin Crumb? Is it Crumb? Whatever his name is. Just like he represented the family with George Floyd. So I started to look at some frequencies, like what the fuck is going on? They said, dang, she was just over here talking about the ballroom. I am, because all of it is connected. I'm sick and tired of different energies coming in, taking away our frequencies. I mean, you have that, what's her name, that Grinner, that basketball chick, that Grinner chick, her girlfriend or wife is talking about, you gonna call this new, the baby gonna call you Pops. You got black women allegedly out here thinking that they are the fathers to babies. You are a woman. Now, I don't know what that Grinner is, because then it makes me think, is her wife, is she suffering from psychosis? Is she from a psych ward? Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, this is what they're doing. They're causing confusion within the black culture. No other culture will sit up and do that weird ass shit like we're doing. They're not. They are degrading, and it's disgusting what is being pushed, and the propaganda and the money behind it. To now it's the black woman turn. So we're going to have studs. We're going to have these lesbians. We're going to have black women out here dressed like hoes. I went back and I was looking at that whole team of that Angel Reese. You know, I've been on that frequency. All them women were dressed like hoes and inappropriate. For the image. So we're hoes. We out here studs. We have to bow down to the ballroom and the gay scene. We can't say the truth. So when I seen Kim Burrell apologizing, I knew there was an energy. Because if you in the church, even if you're gay, you fucking know better, and you know the truth, and you know what the church preached. I hear Mexicans tearing up homosexuals, wearing makeup. Nobody have anything to say. They'll get out there and preach that shit. They ain't bowing down. It's like, but look, it's the word. The word is the word. The word is the word. Now we understand, and the word has spirit to it. It's not about, because we already know that in the Bible that they didn't pull from different frequencies. But the reality is the nature and the life. Men on men can't create babies. Women on women can't create babies. You need a certain energy, but then they've created designer babies. So you got women out here shooting sperm up in their fucking fallopian tube and shit. Okay, but we don't know nothing about them babies. I don't know if those are humanoids. I don't know what the fuck that is. And I don't care who's offended. Because I feel like this. If the spirit made you barren, and you couldn't have a baby naturally, maybe you don't need one. And that's the realities of it, okay? That's the spell work, that's the curse, that's just what the fuck it is. So, however, when I start to look at this situation here, I said, what the fuck is going on here? Now they're attacking the black woman. When I heard this, and so I looked closely at his tattoos, I said, those look like gang prison tattoos. Those look like good old boys brotherhood tattoos. And I was looking at his haircut. I said, that looked like the Aryan cut. That looked like them Irish Aryans or German Jews Aryan. But that cut is Aryan, and them tattoos are brotherhood. Okay, there's certain energies that's going on with them tattoos right there. There's certain codes going on, right? So I said, where in the fuck did they get this fucking Aryan from? Is he from a psych ward? Is he from the military? Where is he from? Is he a Ukrainian? I'm trying to understand some shit. When I'm looking at his facial structure, I said, they gave him an androgynous name. So you don't, it's like, what is it? What is he? It's something suspicious, right? So I don't know. Something's very suspicious about this whole story. So you have an Aryan, because most Aryans do practice satanic energies, pig magic. And they practice the pig magic because most Aryans, or they call them white supremacists, or whatever they want to call them, the good old boys or whatever, depending where they from, alt-rights, okay? They have a certain energy with them. But when I'm looking at the tattoos and his whole frequency and his stance, I said, because they're not talking about them white supremacists are part of the trafficking and kid prostitution shit. They're not talking about how they kidnap people and then and sell them off to motherfuckers. They're not talking about they're in nothing but a John Wayne Gacy. They're connected to shit. Your militias. Yes, your militias have been compromised and whatever you want to be, because a lot of them are part of the kidnappings. A lot of them are part of the teenage kidnappings. A lot of them, they're part of that energy. Okay? So we don't talk about the white supremacists. They seem to not talk about. They want to tell you about Puff Daddy, but they're not telling you over here there may be a racist ass white supremacist motherfucker that's over here helping him, right? They're gonna hide that, right? Just like they don't want to hide, just like they hide that story, that Louisiana story with their white supremacists kidnapping them girls, like they've been doing. Hiding them underneath people's houses and trucks. Burying them, taking them to borders, working with the Mexicans, the cartels and shit. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about what's really going on in prison and how they incorporate themselves with the Mexicans and the whites. We're not going to talk about that. And the way he looks to me, he looked like a fucking Aryan who was in fucking prison and they dolled him up, made him a police officer. Have him under the frequency, because again, most white supremacists or the good old boys practice pig magic and they be under that shit. They pretend and use the Bible, but really be doing satanic energies. And what they did was use a good old boy to perpetuate a propaganda to kill off the spirit of the black woman. That whole energy didn't even make sense. I said there was no protocol. If she called and she's saying, hey, there's a prowler, usually you don't let them in the house. You talk to them at the door. And you say, hey, I think it's someone in the house. So how, and then I said, none of this makes sense. And I don't care, and you can't make it make sense. And I'm not about to be under anybody's propaganda. And then that Benjamin Crump, here he come. You guys gonna tell me this whole story makes sense to you? Or is this a fucking ritual before the election? As well as George Floyd. That whole energy, when you read the whole story, even his ID number, it is codes. 3, 30, 6, 30, 31, 30, he's 30 years old. 7, 9, 9, 9, 6, 7, 7. But I'm like, and then when you look at it, it looks like it was previous year. Like, I'm like, when did this happen? Did this happen in 2003? If it happened? Because remember, we're under Hollywood. We're under the new Hollywood. Oh, she's wrong. She don't know what she's talking about. This really happened. Did it? Okay. Because we don't think about sometimes they put things in place. Because when I'm looking at it, I said, but wouldn't this be considered that she has a mental illness? I said, it doesn't make sense. So in simple form, some of you be like, he was possessed. I told y'all when they walk out, they have a certain code, certain energies and bylaws. That was not a possession. That was a trigger. Because she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And he said what he said. That's called triggering. That's called MK-ulturing. They brainwashed it, told him that trigger. That's what that looked like to me. And then it was like she already knew something was going. I'm like, none of this makes sense. And you gonna make this make sense to me? Y'all gonna make this make sense to me? Okay, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm seeing. I just have discernment. I'm just nitpicking. I'm not on the march. I'm going to be with y'all up there in hurt feelings about Bangladesh. You know, I'm going to be part of that crew. I'm going to be the one up there with your AKs and Deltas riding for Kamala Harris, not tripping on the laws or the politics, not tripping on that we don't know shit about this woman. I'm going, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. We just going to sit here just like I was in my feelings when George, I was like, oh my God. Then I had to calm my soul down and look at the codes. I said, oh, this is a straight. What is it? What's her name? Isn't it interesting? And she is a 7-day Adventist. And isn't it very interesting how all of a sudden, just to skip, how Silk and Diamond have uprooted themselves? Damn. And just to go back to Kamala Harris, I'm about tired of y'all keep talking about how the Simpsons predicted some shit. The Simpsons didn't predict a motherfucking thing. They're told everything. That's not a prediction. That's how much discernment y'all have. None. Sheila Jackson Lee, long-serving Democratic Congresswoman and advocate for Black Americans, dies at 74. They hid her colon cancer for a minute. I know someone of spiritual constituents in 7-day events. She's a Jamaican, but 7-day Adventist. The 7-day Adventist church have a lot of bullshit and a lot of Hinduism and a lot of frequencies in it that's out of pocket. Myself and her spiritual constituents, we were even talking about Palo. And I told her, I said, it's very suspicious because technically that Palo is Latin, but it's kidnapped from the Congo energies. And the practices that the Palo, especially with some, when it expands itself with, of course, the body parts and the pots, that comes from India. If you really peep, in that Indian culture, they take body parts and they burn it and they do what they do. In some Asian and Chinese countries, they do it too. Okay? I'm telling you, there's a lot of that energy. Because when you go back and you study the Mayoba, whatever, the Congo energy, because they call it Mayobe, but because that's where Apollo comes from, that energy, that practice, those are two different practices. And they're not putting shit in pots in Congo. The original practice of it is no pot shit. So their mix, so in religion is Babylon, right? But when I'm talking about this congresswoman or whatever, she died, it's sacrificial. Everything's sacrificial. It's dealing with the Black woman. They're killing the Black woman. It's like, now we just need to kill off these Black women, have them dress like hoes, mix them up with religion. We're going to take away the church. Because remember, during election time, the Democrats are running to the churches, the Black churches. Not this time, huh? Because they have disappeared. They run into the church of social media. They're using air, metaphysics, cyber magic. Maritime, bullshit, above your pay grade. Libra, talking. You don't know what the fuck she talking about. I said, who keeps her grounded? A Cancer? Because the Libra has to talk to a Cancer to make it make sense. That's above y'all pay grade. Just like that whole energy of Elegua was above your pay grade. This Sonya Massey or Massey, this is above y'all pay grade. They're purposely in Africa killing the African people. I seen African children drinking Fanta, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and French fries. Get that food from out of there. Whoever murderers. Just like they had Africans drinking alcohol, some fucking margaritas, and a tribal person. I said, damn, they just keep on keeping on. They just keep using old magic. And they doing shit right in front of our faces and we not even peeping. They're using a fake ass white supremacist from the good old boy. You see it all over him. And that's why I'm like, was he an Aryan in prison? That's why I said his haircut, tattoos, his stance, the way he looked. People don't speak where they got him from. Because then the investigation should be is within the police department, is there some kind of brotherhood with tattooing and codes? So kill the black woman, you kill spirit. Because the black woman is spirit. So they're subliminally censoring the word. You better not say that word. You better not say, I said it and it works. Because I said, damn, that reminds me of me and my kid's father when the police stopped him for no reason. And I was like, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And I did the same fucking thing. That shit worked. And you know what? That police officer went just like him. He went crazy. Because he called in my kid's father anything for no apparent reason. And that, I'm not going to talk about, because my kid's father, he's dead and gone, but he had a whole bunch of energies. But I was like, oh shit, that reminds me when I did that. Because it was an unnecessary stop. But some police officers do go crazy when you start rebuking them. That's not a lie. That's real shit. Talking about in the name of Jesus. How come we didn't see this? Because when I looked at him, I said, he kind of looked like a Ukrainian. I said, did they bring these Ukrainians here and train them? And I'm like, how come? And then I started tripping. I said, how come aren't any black niggas from prison looking at this dude? Because that's what he looked like to me. I said, where'd they get him from? This looked like a whole setup. The day, the number, the codes, the tattoos, the haircut, the stance, the propaganda, the black woman, subliminal, George Floyd, election, sacrifice, the black woman, election, sacrifice, the killing of religion, merging of religion, new religion. practical, no spirit, just rituals. You bring down the black family, you bring down the black woman, there's no more. Bring in a new culture, kill the black woman. Bring in a new culture, have sex with the black woman and create a new entities, create new deities, create an incubating spirit. Invest money, pull down black people into the gutter. Invest in whole behavior. Keep producing niggas. I had a back and forth with one of my clients with the word nigga, because I told her, you're niggering me, and she was offended. And she was like, don't call me no nigga. And I sat back and looked at her and said, I'm going to call you a nigga because you're nigging me. If you wasn't nigging me, then I don't call you no nigga. If you're not doing nigga shit, then I don't call you a nigga. That's the black and white of it. I don't give a fuck what you like, what you don't like. I got to call you what you are, because that's the way you acting. So basically, in this day and time, we are not black people. We're not that new words, whatever. We're not even nationalists. We're niggas, because they treating us like niggas. I don't care how much motherfucking money you have, you a nigga. So we're going to treat you like one. Where's that money coming from? That's a lot of money invested. That's a lot of money invested to cut you out of college, to cut you out of schools, to create laws to protect themselves, but you don't have anything for yourself. That is a lot of motherfucking money to tear down a whole community that had even sneak money going back and forth. That was a cold game and a cold setup with them PP loans or whatever and all of that. That's a cold game when you had your Mason team or your Masonic team have these niggas out on bail and have them doing whatever in the entertainment world, and now we tired of your ass, or there's money invested for your ass to go back to jail. Young Thug, all that. Because we really don't know when that happened. There's a lot of investments. Who are these investors? There's always been investments to tear us down. Now there's another investment to neutralize the black woman. You guys should have known there was something wrong when that fake ass actress talked about that woman's eyelashes and she went back at her. I said, okay, what's coming? It's the neutralization of the black woman. That's why you got Asian women and all of them kicking up their hair. You got Indian women talking shit to black women. Every cultural woman coming talking shit to a black woman. This is just the tip of it. This is spell work. This is going back to some shit. They made sure your black ass men cannot save your ass because your black men are too busy having Kim Burrell apologize. You know, those ones in the ballroom and the real feminine boys, they want to make sure that they have a presence in the community. But we constantly having shit like this and will continue to happen to black women. And I'm going to guarantee you, we're not watching what's going on in Africa. We're not watching, but we should, because they are creating a new nation of aliens over there and we not watching. And they're inserting all that foreign energy into a nation of people. They made sure to bring drugs over there. And they have all they men up in trap houses up there doing crystal meth, that fentanyl and dope. And they did the same thing over there. They're separating the black men from the black women. And I'm talking over there because that's what they did here in America. That's how you win a war. And then you get other cultures coming in talking about who they are. Well, we're this, we're that, we're this, we're that. We're better than black women. There's no family structure. Do you understand there's trillions of dollars to kill off the black and neutralize and keep going and using us as sacrifice? See, they can't do shit. I mean, all of us can't leave because they need more to sacrifice, right? They need to stop fucking with me with this Sonya Massey energy. I don't. Only reason why I address it because people wanted me to address it. I don't have time for the purge. Gangs, white Aryan gangs in front of us. Because I'm going to be real with you. This is my first time. I mean, I'm not saying what it is, what it ain't. This is my first time seeing a police officer with tattoos going up like that. Let me know if you guys seen that before. Meaning, in your area, have you guys seen a police officer with visible tattoos that's very clear that it's connected to some kind of gang shit? Because I would consider that as being unprofessional. And don't get it fucked up. There's gangs in police departments, but they don't let their shit be seen. That's seen. Because when somebody hit me up with spiritual constituents, they said his tattoos look interesting. I looked, I said, yo, those are brotherhood. That's all. Oh, okay. What he in? Pig magic. With those type of tattoos, I doubt he could work in a prison. Because that's gang related. Some Aryan knows what the fuck that is. Then we look back as I talk about Kim Burrell and how she let the church down and how the church is all involved with Orishas and shit like that. See, they're out here trying to bring a new religion, a new church under the conscious community. I wouldn't fuck around with that conscious community. That's a sin. Just a little quick. I was talking about little Eleguas. Did y'all see that downtown LA hotel not hotel, but apartments they didn't made? I hope them people be okay in it. Did you see where I guess apparently in Harlem, and I'm being a little rude, but in Harlem, I guess they put Tariq Nasheed's face on a mural in Harlem, basically saying he's an icon. And I found something very interesting. I said most of those other faces, people are dead. See, I'm always suspicious when people put people's faces on murals. Because that's an energy. That's a soul. And you're generating something in the neighborhood. But most of the people on this mural, they're dead. So why would they put a live person next to dead energy? A spiritual constituent stated to me, I guess Joe Biden had a speech. Joe Biden told the world that it's about we the people. And he said we can't forget that. I told you about we the people. That's why Obama talking about open process. I keep telling you, we are still under we the people. No matter what comes in, these white people know. Bishop Marvin Winan announces bladder cancer diagnosed during church service. Prayers up. So they're trying to kill his ass, huh? They're moving these people out the way like them Pace sisters. They need a new church. That's Antichrist. I was reading something that says, teen breaks down her mental health to her dad. And her dad says, oh my God, I hate that they did that because Lord have mercy. You get black people talking about black people always don't want to admit someone's mental. Do you understand? Most people, and this is just my research, my PhD, I notice most people have bipolarism, been sexually assaulted, allegedly. But that's my research. That's my PhD. When I was going to school to be a psychologist, I intentionally studied bipolarism and schizophrenia. Because I wanted to understand it at different degrees. And I noticed people with bipolarism, I noticed a lot of them were sexually assaulted or they did some kind of drugs, meaning in the past or so on. Trauma-based bipolarism. They don't talk about that. That's why that father said, oh my gosh, there's a lot of shit that goes on in his universal soul that we don't think about. And if I go back to Kamala Harris and that truant energy and arresting parents unfairly who like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Sometimes you don't know what the fuck your kids are doing. I used to cut like a motherfucker. I would only go to English class some of the time. There were times I would show up and the kids would be looking at me like this. I had to tell my sons, I said, I almost didn't graduate high school. My mama didn't have a clue. When the report card come, I would take it out the mailbox. My grade point average was 1 point. What you talking about? It's not the parent fault. My mother thought she was on me, but I always beat her to the punch. I had to tell some millennials, I said, you're the reason why kids are fucked up and talk shit. Because you're the kids that they told y'all to call 911 and more. And some of y'all did it. Put your parents in jail. Now we have this lazy parenting called gentle parenting. That's lazy parenting. I go at it with my sons. And I have to tell them. Stop looking at the internet of how a parent's supposed to deal with you. My son be like, well, Mom, you need to talk to me better. Really? You talk to me mean. I'm not a gentle parent. You did this to me. You did that to me. You okay? Y'all think I don't get that energy. I do. I'm having a cancel. I want to go back to something. Have y'all been looking at Basketball Wives, the current season? Who in the fuck are those reptilian witches on there? This is the shit I'm talking about, the investment to fuck up a black woman's beauty, her mental, her whole soul. You got all that shit going on. How you connected with spirit? The same thing with Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. What the fuck? I wasn't looking at Basketball Wives for its content. I'm looking at the women. What the fuck is wrong with Jennifer? And Jennifer has always been a tone smaller woman. Where she gained weight? She's always been particular about her weight. And her face is what's going on. What's in their contracts? Evelyn Lozada, she's always been pretty. What the fuck is wrong with her face now? Brandy, what's wrong with her face and why is she looking like she's been ejaculated on? What's this energy? I told you guys Brooke's daughter's death was going to be the energy of Basketball Wives. That's why they pushed back Jackie. I knew it. Who are them aliens on there? I can't even look at it right. I'm waiting to see what Jackie looked like. I said, is she not on there because she's still healing? What is in these contracts? Who are these people investing in deteriorating and neutralizing black women of their soul and spirit? And it's nothing pretty. It's nothing pretty. Those are reptilian witches. They almost look like turtles. Did y'all ever notice that a turtle looked like an uncircumcised penis? Is that me? Did y'all ever look at lizards? How it's shaped like a head, a man's top of the head? You know I'm a dick connoisseur, so I always look at stuff and that shit. Is it me? Or are they reframing Hello Kitty? Somebody put in my comments that Halle Berry is Hello Kitty. I don't think that was Halle Berry, y'all, because she was celebrating whatever Catwoman. I don't know who that woman is. But have y'all been tripping? Some of y'all who know who Hello Kitty is. I thought Hello Kitty was Japanese. When did she become an English woman who drink tea? Did they sell Hello Kitty to England? Anyway, this is Weird Renegade Witches blog. Hit us up when you want some real motherfucking work done.